Hey everybody, it's been a bit, so I thought I might give a bit of a video update. My hair is crazy as usual, but doing tons better. Absolutely fantastic. So I went and got a heart cath done. They not only sort of looked around, did a evaluation of the flows in my heart and my lungs and all that kind of stuff. But then on top of that, they stented both the left and right pulmonary veins, which is really, really, has obviously done absolute wonders for my oxygen levels. Just to give you an idea, when I was born and for the longest time, my oxygen level has been about, 92% on the SpO2, that kind of thing. Lately, or at least before the cath, it was more like 88 and, regions even lower than that. So that was why I was on the oxygen and everything. Following the cath, like for example, this morning, my Whoop fitness tracker said that my resting pulse ox was 95%. It has never been 95%. Even when I was quote unquote peak health, I mean, obviously having a heart and lung condition makes, the definition of peak health a little weird, but I have never in my whole life been at 95%. So it's honestly game changing. And I have no words to describe how thankful I am to my cath team, to all the cardiologists, everybody who's been helping me every step of this journey. Yeah, it's kind of insane. So what they did was the left pulmonary vein, they had a little bit to work with, so they basically took it from, I think, I don't have the report in front of me, which honestly should do a sort of deep dive on the report once I sort of redact everything. But from remembering off the top of my head, they took the left pulmonary vein from like 2 millimeters or so up to 15 millimeters or 12, something like 12 to 15, somewhere in there, which is just an insane, using the cath, using a stent, you can do that. Then on the right, so when I was born, right around when I was 6 months old, I had open heart surgery where they tried to do a palliative repair. Didn't really get a whole lot done. I have, beyond pulmonary vein stenosis, I have an atrial septal defect, I have a ventricular septal defect. So they made the ASD a bit bigger to allow a better shunt, to sort of release sort of that buildup of pressure that you get from the blocked pulmonary vein. So on the right side, they said that was pretty much completely closed up. There wasn't anything there. What they did was they worked on it. I think the report said just the right pulmonary vein took them like 3 hours. I was down for like 5 hours. And they basically took that from, was essentially 0 to, that same 12 to 15, whatever it is. Which is insane, right? Like they essentially made a new vein, not technically, but you get what I'm saying. They took a vein that physically existed but was completely closed off, barely, if any, circulation through it, opened it up. My body has responded amazingly, of course. And obviously they were very excited about all that. I think they said by the end of it there was like four it's like four surgeons in the operating room and then three watching from the window. Everyone was just like really, excited about my case. And so we did that. Then after that, so right, they poked around, they got my numbers, they stented everything. After that, then they looked at my response to vasodilators. So these are different drugs that you can give patients to, further increase, their oxygen levels. Of course, the most famous one is sildenafil, which is Viagra. But there's a whole class of these drugs that work as vasodilators and can potentially even further increase. He said I was responsive to those as well. So all in all, there's things we can potentially do in the future. They're also thinking about, the one tricky thing with opening all these pulmonary veins that haven't been opened before, right, is now that the lungs are really pushing blood to the heart, then you have to start worrying about the heart itself, right? Making sure that doesn't get overworked. So now what they're doing is they're also evaluating potentially closing some of those holes, the atrial septal defect and the ventricular septal defect, or one or the other, or whatever. Or not necessarily closing them all the way either, but at least, partially patching them, still allowing a little bit of flow over to, sort of keep the status quo. But this is like game changing. I'm probably supposed to be looking at the camera while I'm talking, but you got to deal with it. It's just game changing. It's life changing, From when I was born to when I was 18, when they sort of said, well, you're aged out of the system, basically. I was on the heart and lung, well, I was on the lung transplant list, and they were debating constantly about whether to put me on the heart one too. It was like going from that to having, 95% oxygen, and, the fact that they can do all of this. They did all of this with the cath, right? So it's not open heart surgery. They're using the femoral artery in your leg and sending a little wire up your leg into your heart, into your lungs, and doing all this stuff. And just doing that precisely, accurately, it's just insane what we can do with medicine these days. And I'm, again, just grateful is not even starting to describe how I feel. So, with all that said, I'm starting to exercise some more again. Obviously taking it bit by bit. Did like a mile sort of quote unquote test. That took me my normal pace for forever has been a 20-minute mile. I think I was 22 today. I think I probably pushed a wee bit too hard in the beginning. So, I pushed too hard, and then I backed off a bit. I was able to sort of keep a steady pace at about 22. Obviously, if I hadn't gone so hard in the beginning, I probably could have done it a wee bit better. Other than that, yeah, it is insane what medicine can do. That's all I got to say. It's just beyond expectations. They were like, oh yeah, we're gonna do, this cath, look around a little bit, do some stenting, look at your, see if we can use vasodilators. And we're like, okay, we'll do a little bit, make a little progress, keep on moving. This is like, I'm like, dang, like I can just live with this, and it's insane that they're like, oh yeah, we can do even more, and obviously I got to think about those kinds of things. Do I want them to do more? Are we happy where we're at? Obviously I want, even though we've sort of quote unquote fixed the lungs, we obviously have to make sure that the heart stays in concert because it's all kind of a one big system. But the other thing is like I was discharged the next day, right? You think like, oh wow, you're going to get a heart lung procedure, be laid out for a week. It's like, no. I mean, what is this? What's today? Thursday? Wednesday? Thursday? I don't remember what day it is anymore. But basically a week, and I'm back to like jogging around the park. I mean, not really even jogging, fast walking. We'll be honest with ourselves. But it's just nuts. Anyway, I am so happy that I'm doing so great. Obviously, my whole family is elated, and even the cardiologists were like, this is the most interesting case we've seen in 10 years. They were impressed. So, all in all, 100% shout out to everybody. And we'll keep moving forward. I'll keep exercising. I think tomorrow I have scheduled a rest day, but we'll keep moving forward, keep pushing our limits, seeing where we get. And I'm going to start trying to record more videos just because this will probably turn into Alan exercising and rambling channel. But, we'll keep going. Keep seeing what we can get. So with that, I look forward to talking to you all soon. Have any questions? Feel free to leave them in the chat. I'll probably, like I said, once I make sort of a redacted cath summary and really have time to sort of go through all the numbers, I can probably, talk through that. Yeah, but we'll keep going. All right, everybody, have a good day. Leave questions and comments and whatever in the comments. What am I supposed to say? Like the video, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, have a fantastic day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.